You're hemorrhaging power every single day and you don't even realize it. Right now, as you're watching this, there's information bleeding out of you. Words you've spoken, secrets you've shared, plans you've announced to people who smile while mentally cataloging every vulnerability you've just handed them on a silver platter. And here's what kills me. You think you're being authentic. You think transparency equals strength. You think opening up builds connection. It doesn't. It builds a file. A psychological dossier that people will crack open the moment you become inconvenient, the moment your success threatens their comfort, the moment they need leverage. Listen to me carefully. There's a reason the most powerful people in history moved like ghosts. They understood something you're about to learn today. That revelation is a form of suicide. The more visible your interior becomes, the easier you are to dismantle. So let me ask you something that should make you deeply uncomfortable. How much of yourself have you already given away? How many people know exactly where to strike because you showed them the map? If that question just triggered something in your gut, good. Keep watching, because what I'm about to show you isn't just going to change how you communicate, it's going to restructure your entire relationship with power. But there's a psychological warfare happening in every conversation, and most people are losing without even knowing they're in a battle. Every time you speak, you're either building fortifications or creating openings. You're either establishing dominance through strategic silence or voluntarily handing over ammunition that will eventually be used to destroy you. And the cruelest part? The people collecting this information are often the ones sitting closest to you. Your inner circle, the people you trust, the ones who say, "I'm here for you," while mentally filing away every weakness for future use. This isn't paranoia. This is pattern recognition. Think about the last time someone weaponized your own words against you. That moment when a casual confession from 6 months ago got dragged out during an argument. That time a friend accidentally mentioned something you shared in confidence. That colleague who suddenly knew exactly how to undermine you because you'd revealed too much during a vulnerable moment. You felt it, didn't you? That sick realization that you'd armed your own executioner. The problem isn't that you trusted the wrong person. The problem is that you believe trust exempts you from strategy. It doesn't. Even in your closest relationships, there's a line between intimacy and intelligence sharing. Cross it, and you've just converted an ally into a potential threat. Here's what nobody wants to tell you. Human beings are fundamentally opportunistic. Not evil, opportunistic. Given the right circumstances, even your most loyal friend will use what you've revealed if it serves their survival, their ego, or their advancement. So the question becomes, how do you navigate a world where everyone's collecting data on everyone else? You become unreadable. You turn yourself into a question they can't answer. You give them a puzzle so complex that by the time they think they've figured you out, you've already moved 3 positions ahead. And that starts with understanding what never, under any circumstances, leaves your lips. Let's talk about ambition. You've got this vision, right? This thing you're building. This future version of yourself that keeps you up at night with equal parts excitement and terror. And because you're human, because you want validation, because you crave belief from others before you fully believe in yourself, you talk about it. Big mistake. Catastrophic mistake. The moment you announce your next move, you've detonated your own advantage. You've taken something sacred, your unrealized potential, and thrown it into a crowd of people who are secretly terrified of what you might become. Here's the brutal psychology you need to understand. Most people don't want you to fail. They want you to succeed just enough to validate their own mediocrity. They want you to do slightly better than you were, but not so much better that it exposes their own stagnation. Your big move, your audacious goal. It doesn't inspire them. It threatens them. So what do? They don't attack you directly. That would be too obvious. Instead, they sprinkle doubt like poison in a well. Is that realistic? Have you really thought this through? I'm just worried about you. Now notice the framing: concern, care, protection, bullshit. What they're really saying is, please don't outgrow me. Please don't prove that ambition works while I've settled. Please don't make me confront my own lack of courage by demonstrating yours. They dress sabotage in the language of friendship. They murder your momentum with questions that sound reasonable but are designed to paralyze. And the worst part? You internalize it. Their fear becomes your hesitation. Their limitation becomes your ceiling. So here's your new operating system. Execution over explanation. Results over rehearsal. Silence until success. You don't announce the launch, you launch. You don't explain the strategy, you execute it. You don't defend the vision. You make it so undeniable that defense becomes irrelevant. Think about genuine power players throughout history. They didn't broadcast intentions. They didn't seek permission. They didn't wait for consensus. They moved in absolute silence and let the impact speak. You want to build something extraordinary? Stop giving people the opportunity to talk you out of it before you've even started. Stop letting their unprocessed fears contaminate your unrealized potential. Move like water, formless, unpredictable, unstoppable. And when they finally notice what you've built, when they finally see the empire you constructed while they were sleeping, let their surprise be your validation. Let their shock be your applause. Because the man who announces his revolution never starts it. The man who silently builds it changes everything. I want you to do something right now. In the comments, don't tell me what you're building. Don't explain your next move. Just type 4 words. Silence is my strategy. Let that be your public commitment to stop bleeding your power through premature revelation. And now let's discuss something even more dangerous than revealing your plans. Exposing your fractures, your weaknesses, your pain points, the things that keep you awake at 3 a.m., the trauma you haven't processed, the fears you can't shake, the moments when you feel like you're drowning in your own inadequacy. You carry these things, and they're heavy. So heavy that sometimes you just need to set them down, even if it's in front of people who haven't earned the right to hold them. And that's where you lose the game. Because what you perceive as vulnerability, they perceive as inventory. You're not having a moment of authentic connection. You're providing a roadmap of exactly where you're defenseless. Every wound you expose, every insecurity you confess, every moment of weakness you share, it's being filed, cataloged, stored in their mental database under a folder labeled, "How to Hurt Him If Needed." You think I'm being cynical? Tell me the last time someone used your own confession against you. Tell me you've never had a moment where words you spoke in trust got weaponized during conflict. Tell me you've never felt the specific agony of having your pain used as entertainment, as gossip, as evidence of your inadequacy. You can't, can you? Here's the uncomfortable truth about human nature. People don't handle your pain with care. They handle it with curiosity. And curiosity doesn't protect. It explores. It probes. It finds the edges of your damage and, consciously or unconsciously, presses to see what happens. This doesn't make them monsters. It makes them human, flawed, self-interested, incapable of carrying your emotional weight with the same reverence you carry it yourself. So what's the alternative? Suffer in silence? Become emotionally unavailable? Turn into some stoic statue that feels nothing? No. You feel everything. You process everything. You heal everything, but you do it privately, internally, with people who have demonstrated, through years, not words, that they can hold your truth without using it against you. And those people? They're rare, extraordinarily rare. Most people you encounter are spectators, not stakeholders. They want the drama of your struggle without the commitment of your healing. They want the tea without the testimony. They want the story without the responsibility. Don't give it to them. Your wounds are sacred ground. Not everyone deserves to walk there. Most people haven't earned the privilege of knowing where you've bled, where you've broken, where you've barely survived. You want to build unshakable power? You want to be truly formidable? Master your pain in private. Conquer your demons behind closed doors. Emerge stronger without ever explaining the war you fought internally. Because the man who broadcasts his brokenness gets sympathy. The man who silently reconstructs himself gets respect. And in the economy of power, respect is the only currency that matters. Let them see the fortress. Never let them see the foundation you had to rebuild. Let's shift to something that reveals your position faster than almost anything else. Wealth. Money changes everything, not just your lifestyle, your relationships, your safety, your freedom, the way people calculate your value. And the second you announce how much you have, You've just painted a target so bright it's visible from space. Here's what happens when you start talking about income. People stop seeing you. They see a resource, an opportunity, a comparison point, a threat, a solution to their problems, an excuse for their failures. You become dimensional, no longer a full human being, just a walking bank account with opinions attached. Rich people who stay rich understand something fundamental. Money talks, wealth whispers, and real power is completely silent. Why do you think old money moves quietly while new money screams? Because people who've had wealth for generations know that flashing it doesn't build respect. It builds resentment, jealousy, and strategic relationships designed to extract value. You tell someone you made 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever. Watch what happens. Suddenly, there are requests. Not direct, that would be too honest. No, these are sophisticated extractions dressed as opportunities. I've got this amazing investment idea. I'm starting something, need a partner. Hey, since you're doing well, maybe you could help with. And if you say no, if you protect what you've built, now you're the villain. The selfish one, the person who forgot where they came from, the success that went to your head. Not because you changed, because their fantasy of accessing your resources just collapsed. Here's the psychology. When people know exactly what you have, they start writing scripts about what you owe them. They create narratives where your success is somehow connected to their struggle. They build expectations you never agreed to carry, and the moment you fail to meet those expectations you never created, respect evaporates, replaced by resentment, by judgment, by the quiet satisfaction people feel when someone who had it all stumbles. You want real power? Make them guess. Let them wonder. Let them be uncomfortable not knowing. Because mystery creates respect. Certainty creates complacency. When they can't figure out your position, they treat you better. They're more careful, more thoughtful, more strategic in how they engage. But flash your wealth, announce your income, flex your success. You've just told everyone exactly how to manipulate you, use you, or destroy you. The truly powerful don't show weapons before war starts. They keep arsenals hidden until the moment of deployment. Your bank account is a weapon. Your assets are leverage. Your financial position is strategic intelligence. And you never, ever give strategic intelligence to people who haven't proven they can handle it without turning it against you. Stay quiet. Stay hidden, stay powerful. Let your results speak so loudly that your words become unnecessary. We need to talk about something people destroy daily without even realizing: their intimate relationships. You're in conflict with your partner, real conflict, the kind that makes you question everything, and because you're human, because you need to process, because you want validation that you're not crazy. You talk about it, to friends, to family, to coworkers, to the internet. And the moment those words leave your mouth, you've just converted something private into public property. You've taken a sacred space and turned it into entertainment for people who have no stake in whether you succeed or fail. Here's what nobody tells you about relationship conflicts. Other people don't want to help you fix them. They want front row seats to the drama. They want the details. They want to feel better about their own dysfunction by witnessing yours. So you spill. You tell them what she said, what he did, how hurt you are, how betrayed you feel, how you're questioning everything. And they listen, they nod, they sympathize. But what they're actually doing is filing, recording, storing this moment for later use, later gossip, later judgment. Because here's the brutal truth. Once your relationship problems go public, you stop being a person in their eyes. You become a storyline, a character, a cautionary tale they'll reference when they want to feel superior. Yeah, he's doing well now, but remember when his girlfriend was cheating and he still stayed? She talks a big game, but her relationship is a disaster. They seem happy on the surface, but I know what really goes on. Your intimacy becomes their small talk. Your pain becomes their entertainment. Your vulnerability becomes their proof that you're not as strong as you appear. And the absolute worst part, the people you told, they never forget, even if you reconcile. Even if you heal, even if you build something beautiful after the chaos, they're still holding on to that moment when you were broken. That moment when you proved you weren't invincible. So what happens? Every time your name comes up, that story comes up. Every time someone considers you for something that requires stability, a promotion, a partnership, a position of trust, that story creates doubt. Not because you're currently unstable, because you once were vulnerable enough to admit it. Here's the law. What you protect stays sacred. What you expose becomes strategic ammunition. You want to save your relationship? Handle it internally. Seek help from professionals who are bound by confidentiality, not friends who are bound by curiosity. Talk to mentors who've actually built successful partnerships, not peers who are still figuring out their own chaos. Because the moment you broadcast your intimate struggles, you've lost control of the narrative. You've given other people the power to define your stability, your judgment, your strength. And in a world where perception equals reality, that's a death sentence for respect. Keep your battles private. Fight them, win them, or walk away from them. But never, ever turn them into public spectacles that diminish your power long after the conflict ends. Family, the people who raised you, the dysfunction that shaped you, the trauma that still echoes in patterns you can't quite break. And because society tells you that honesty is healing, that sharing is strength, that openness is growth, you talk about it. You explain your childhood, your absent father, your controlling mother, the chaos that formed your foundation. Big mistake, catastrophic mistake. Because what you think is context, they hear as weakness. What you frame as where I came from, they catalog as who you fundamentally are. See, people don't separate you from your origins. They project dysfunction onto your present. They use your past as a lens to interpret every action you take now. You share that your family was unstable. Suddenly, every decision you make is questioned. Well, considering his background, makes sense given what she went through. I'm worried he's not equipped for this because of his upbringing. Your history becomes your handicap, not because it's still limiting you, but because they've decided it defines you. Here's the uncomfortable psychology. When you reveal family trauma, you're not getting support. You're providing entertainment. You're giving people a story they can share at dinner parties. Gossip they can dress up as concern. Drama they can reference whenever they need to feel better about their own lives. Oh, you think your family is bad? Let me tell you what Sarah told me about her childhood. And just like that, your pain becomes their currency. Your vulnerability becomes their social capital. Now here's where it gets even darker. Professional settings. You're being considered for leadership, for responsibility, for positions that require stability and judgment. And someone remembers that conversation where you mentioned your dysfunctional family. That moment when you revealed chaos in your foundation. They won't say it out loud, but the question forms. Can we trust someone from that background with this responsibility? Will their unresolved trauma impact their decision-making? Are they really stable enough? You didn't lose the opportunity because you're unqualified. You lost it because you volunteered information that created doubt about your foundation. The most powerful people in any room came from somewhere. Maybe chaos, maybe privilege, maybe complete dysfunction. But here's what they understand. Your origin story is nobody's business unless it serves your strategy. You don't owe explanations about your family. You don't need to justify your childhood. You don't have to provide backstory so people can understand you. Your job is to show up so competent, so composed, so clearly in control of yourself that your past becomes irrelevant to their assessment of your present. Heal privately. Build privately. Conquer your demons behind doors they'll never see. And when you emerge, successful, stable, powerful, let them wonder how someone like you came from nowhere. Let the mystery of your transformation be more compelling than the details of your struggle. Because people respect finished products, not the messy process of construction. Your family trauma is sacred ground. Guard it. Use it as fuel. Let it forge your discipline. But never, ever hand it to people as entertainment, as explanation, or as excuse. If this is landing hard, I need you to do something. Type in the comments, "My past is private property." Make that commitment public, not your story, just your decision to protect it. That's how transformation begins. Now we need to discuss something that kills potential faster than almost anything: broadcasting your long-term vision. You've got this thing you're building, this 5-year plan, this audacious goal that exists in the future you're trying to create. It's massive, it's ambitious, it's the kind of thing that would completely transform your life. And because humans crave external validation before internal conviction, you share it. Fatal error. Because here's what happens. The moment you speak about long-term goals to people who haven't achieved long-term success, you've just submitted your vision for judgment by people completely unqualified to assess it. They haven't built what you're trying to build. They haven't thought as far ahead as you're thinking. They haven't developed the discipline required to execute over years instead of weeks. But now you've given them permission to evaluate your dream, to pick it apart, to find flaws, to project their limitations onto your potential. And here's the psychology that's absolutely brutal. When you share big goals prematurely, your brain experiences a false sense of accomplishment. You get the dopamine hit of being seen as ambitious without actually doing the work of being ambitious. You told them you're starting a business. They clapped. You felt validated, and your brain registered that validation as progress, even though literally nothing has been built yet. So what happens? The urgency decreases, the pressure releases, the internal drive that was supposed to push you through obstacles gets satisfied by external applause. You've killed your momentum before you started moving. Now combine that with another layer. The people you told, they're watching, waiting, expecting updates, creating pressure that has nothing to do with your actual progress and everything to do with their curiosity. So how's that business going? Still working on that 5-year plan? When are you actually going to start? Every question is a test you didn't agree to take. Every follow-up is pressure you didn't consent to carry. Every check-in is a reminder that you announced something you haven't delivered. And if you fail, if the timeline shifts, if the vision evolves, now you're not just dealing with personal setbacks, you're dealing with public disappointment. With people who are quietly satisfied that you didn't execute. With validation that their doubt was justified. See, I knew that was unrealistic. Called it. He talks big but never follows through. Your unrealized potential becomes evidence of your inadequacy. Not because you stopped trying, but because you announced before achieving. Here's what the truly dangerous understand. Silence creates space. Space for experimentation, for failure, for iteration, for evolution. When nobody knows what you're building, you can fail privately, adjust quietly, pivot without explanation, rebuild without judgment. Your long-term vision stays flexible because it's not hardened by external expectations. But announce it, share it, seek validation before execution, you've just locked yourself into a public commitment that removes your freedom to evolve. You're now accountable to a timeline you created for applause, not strategy. So here's your new framework. Build in darkness, deliver in daylight. Let the shock of your execution be more powerful than the promise of your intention. Because the world doesn't respect announcements, it respects results. And results delivered by someone they never saw coming. That's the kind of power that reshapes how people see you permanently. Finally, we arrive at the most dangerous revelation of all. Your deepest regrets, the mistakes that still haunt you, the failures you replay at night, the versions of yourself you're ashamed of, the moments when you were weak, foolish, broken. You carry these things like weights, and sometimes, usually in moments of vulnerability, connection, or misguided honesty, you share them. You think you're being authentic, transparent, real. What you're actually doing is handing people the exact coordinates of where to strike when they need to destroy you. Here's the brutal reality about regret. Other people don't hold it the same way you do. For you, it's a wound you're healing. For them, it's a weapon they're storing. They'll listen. They'll sympathize. They might even share something similar to make you feel less alone. But what they're really doing is cataloging, filing away this information for potential future use. Because here's what humans do when they feel threatened, competitive, or simply opportunistic. They reach for the most effective ammunition available, and you've just handed them armor-piercing rounds with your name on them. You shared that you used to be weak in relationships? That information resurfaces the moment your current relationship has any friction. You've always been like this. Remember when you told me about, you mentioned past financial failures? That gets deployed when they need to undermine your current success. Lucky run. We all remember when you couldn't manage money. You confessed moral failings from years ago. That becomes the character evidence used to question your current integrity. The cruelest part? It doesn't matter how much you've changed. It doesn't matter how thoroughly you've evolved. It doesn't matter that the person who made those mistakes barely resembles who you are now. Because people don't respect transformation. They're comfortable with categories, with labels, with fixed identities they can reference. Your growth threatens that comfort, so they reach for your past to anchor you back to the version of yourself they found less threatening. You think you've changed? Weren't you the same person who... And just like that, years of work get dismissed by a single reference to who you used to be. Here's the psychology you need to internalize. Your biggest regrets are your most private fuel. They're the fire that drives your discipline, the pain that shapes your standards, the lessons that inform your decisions. But they're yours. They belong to you. They serve you. The moment you externalize them, they stop being fuel and become vulnerabilities that others can exploit. So what do you do with regret? With shame? With the weight of past mistakes? You metabolize them privately. You process them internally. You transform them into standards that prevent repetition. You let them shape who you become without ever explaining who you were. Because the man who confesses his regrets seeks forgiveness. The man who silently overcomes them demands respect. And in the economy of power, respect is non-negotiable. Forgiveness is optional. You want to be formidable? Let your current actions be so dominant that your past becomes irrelevant. Let your present discipline be so obvious that questions about your history seem absurd. Don't deny your past. Don't lie about your journey. Simply refuse to hand it over as entertainment or ammunition to people who haven't earned the privilege of knowing your full story. Your regrets are sacred. They're the crucible that forged who you are now. Protect them. Use them. Never share them with people who will weaponize them the moment you become inconvenient. Type this in the comments if this hit you. My past is power, not confession. Lock that in. Make it real. Because from today forward, you move differently. So let me bring this full circle. Most people never accumulate real power. Not because they lack talent. Not because they lack opportunity. Not because they lack ambition. They fail because they leak. They overshare. They broadcast vulnerabilities to audiences that don't deserve access. They mistake transparency for strength when silence is what actually builds fortifications. You've spent your entire life being told that openness is courage, that sharing is connection, that vulnerability is strength, and in the right contexts, with the right people, at the right moments, that's true. But those moments are rare. Those people are exceptional. Those contexts are sacred. Most of the time, most of the people, most of the situations. Your silence is your armor. Your mystery is your advantage. Your unreadability is your power. Think about how many opportunities you've lost because someone knew too much. How many relationships shifted because you revealed too early. How many goals died because you announced before executing. Now imagine the alternative. You move through the world as a question people can't answer. They try to figure you out. They try to predict you. They try to categorize you. And every time they think they've got you mapped, you demonstrate a capability they didn't expect, a move they didn't see coming, a result that doesn't fit their limited assessment. That's not deception. That's strategy. That's understanding that in a world full of people trying to reduce you to something manageable, your refusal to be fully known is the ultimate power move. Here's your new operating system. Your next move, silent until execution. Your weaknesses, private until mastered. Your income, unknown until irrelevant. Your relationship conflicts, internal until resolved. Your family problems, protected until healed. Your long-term goals, invisible until achieved. Your deepest regrets, transformed into discipline, never confession. You become the person they can't quite figure out, the one they underestimate until results force recalibration, the one they thought they knew until actions reveal depths they never imagined. That's not being fake, that's being strategic. That's understanding that in a world where everyone's fighting for position, the person who controls information controls outcomes. You don't owe anyone your interior landscape. You don't owe them your strategy. You don't owe them your pain. What you owe yourself is protection, discipline, the wisdom to understand that revelation is a privilege you grant rarely, strategically, and only to people who've demonstrated they can hold your truth without using it against you. Most people will never earn that privilege. And that's okay, because your power isn't built on how many people understand you. It's built on how completely you understand yourself, how thoroughly you control your narrative, and how strategically you deploy information that serves your advancement. So here's your final assignment. I want you to audit the last 7 days of your life. How many times did you overshare? How many times did you announce instead of execute? How many times did you hand someone ammunition they didn't deserve? And then, starting today, I want you to go quiet. Not silent, strategic, not closed, selective, not fake, protected. Watch what happens when you stop explaining and start executing, when you stop confessing and start conquering, when you stop seeking validation and start commanding respect through results alone. This video isn't for everyone. Most people will watch this and change nothing. They'll nod along, feel momentarily inspired, then return to the same patterns that keep them powerless. But you? If you're still here, if this landed, if something in you recognizes truth, even when it's uncomfortable, you're different. You're someone who understands that the game has rules most people never learn. And the first rule is this: power lives in silence. Weakness lives in explanation. So here's what I need from you. Don't just watch this video. Internalize it, apply it, let it restructure how you move through the world. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, someone who's bleeding power through oversharing, someone who's sabotaging their own success by broadcasting instead of building. You might save their entire trajectory. Subscribe to this channel if you want more truth that doesn't care about comfort, because we're not here to make you feel good, we're here to make you dangerous. And I'll see you in the next one, where we go even deeper into the psychology of power most people are too afraid to admit exists. Move in silence. Build in darkness, arrive like thunder.